What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for a new Madden 23 rebuild. We're going to follow in line with the rebuild that we dropped on Friday, which was a career revival, where we took a brand new quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, former #1 overall pick, try to play out his career, try to redeem it, which I think we did. Never won a Super Bowl, but we did redeem it. And I think another quarterback landing up in a very favorable situation made me want to run it back again, and that is Sam Darnold. Now the quarterback here in San Francisco in a quarterback room that has a lot of question marks. You have first and foremost Trey Lance, who has not developed as expected out of North Dakota State. You have Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, who had some flashes of like, yeah, he looks pretty solid, but then also, is this just a scheme that any half-decent quarterback would look solid and serviceable in? Kyle Shanahan has done a remarkable job with what he's been able to build here in San Francisco. And today, we're going to take Sam Darnold, who is now 26 years old, formerly a top pick in the NFL, coming out of USC, and he is back out on the West Coast, and maybe that is what's needed for him to rekindle what was thought of being a franchise quarterback when he was jumping out of college. So that is what we're going to do here. Sam Darnold on the 49ers. Can we complete a career revival? Can he develop into quarterback one and an offense that already is loaded with skill position players? Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and of course Trent Williams. That is an outstanding offense. That is arguably the best offense Sam Darnold has ever been. I don't even think it's arguably. This is the best offense Sam Darnold has ever had in the NFL. Still some work to do. I think the offensive line is pretty trash, to be honest with you. On the defensive side, we've done the moves they've made this year. We've added, after they poached from the Philadelphia Eagles, Javon Hargrave, paying big time money. They bought in Clelin Ferrell, formerly of the Raiders, another guy looking for a potential career redemption after being a little bit of a flop of a first-round pick. But the defense is still outstanding, even though the loss of DeMeco Ryans is definitely going to be felt. But I am ready to take this team with a brand new quarterback and get them to the Super Bowl. And if not, we're going to do the San Francisco 49er thing. And I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to complain about my losses for the next 2 months, because that's the 49er way. But we're not going to need that, because we are winning a Super Bowl here today. So the downside of the start of this Niners rebuild is they have no draft picks in 2023, with our first pick not coming until pick 21 of the 5th round, where honestly we're just going to go best lineman available, because we need pretty much a bunch of starters on this team, and there's literally nothing. The offensive line has been picked through. We are literally digging through the bones to see if there's anything even remotely serviceable left. Not necessarily the case. This is brutal. Maybe we'll have to go elsewhere and just go all in on the draft next season. So take a look at our draft recap. We had 3 picks, 2 5ths and a 7th, and with our first 5th, we got Ricky Stromberg, 67, center, normal dev. Eli Ricks was there. We used him actually in our last rebuild, so I knew he was a solid player. Don't know why he was still there at 5. Don't even know if he's going to play for us. He's going to be like corner 5 or 6. I just kind of wanted BPA. Maybe that opens things up for a trade down the line. And then we finish up with Jordan McFadden, the lineman from Clemson. But just really tough to make an impact when this is your draft capital. At least next year, we have a lot more assets to utilize to improve the roster. So it's time we move on from the assets that are currently in the quarterback room that are not Sam Darnold, for sure. And the market wasn't great for Brock Purdy, so I feel like maybe we'll have Brock Purdy as a backup option. But Trey Lance, there's still some value there. And you're taking a look at the Denver Broncos, who in this scenario are very worried about what's going on with Russell Wilson. They were the most aggressive offer that I saw when I just used Trade Finder for Trey Lance. So I made something a little bit more well-rounded for our squad. So we're going to send Trey Lance and our 4th round pick in the upcoming draft for Baron Browning, who was originally offered to us, but we need to get something on the offensive line, so we're going to be able to get star dev guard Quinn Miners. Browning's a normal dev. He's a scheme fit, a right outside linebacker in this Niners defense. Is like a pass rusher, so that's what we kind of need there. And Baron Browning is a pass rusher, outstanding athlete, but at least we are getting a dev trait and a position of need, more so in that right guard in Miners. Best of luck out there in Denver, Trey Lance. And a move that could bite us in the ass. I just want to try to recoup the lack of rookies and young talent that we couldn't acquire because we had a 5th round pick as our top pick. So Brock Purdy, you know, his values right now, well, he has his star def. He's not going to play for the foreseeable future. It's like you're going to lose that dev trade just for not playing. So you're going to strike while the iron's hot. This is I already know it's going to bite us in the ass, because we're sending him to the Bucks and he's going to win a bunch of MVPs. But we sent Brock Purdy. I couldn't get a second straight up. Plus, I feel like that might be borderline fleecing. So I just wanted to jump up a little bit. So I threw in our pick right now as it looks 93 to move all the way up to pick 47. Our third rounder and Brock Purdy to move up in the second round to the Bucks, which is likely going to be almost a third round pick anyways. I think I just fleeced myself. We got a pretty big moment here right before the midway point where we kind of pull the reins back and look at contracts. Baron Browning, who was a part of the Trey Lance trade at outside linebacker, has a breakout scenario here over the Baltimore Ravens. Things have gone well so far from an individual standpoint. 3-2, maybe a little bit off the mark where Niner fans would want to be, but we're just coming off a big 37-21 victory over Dallas week 5, in which Sam Darnold was NFC Offensive Player of the Week, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, had 40 yards rushing, which is, I think, is going to be bizarre to see some of the rushing numbers for Sam Darnold because of the scheme here in San Francisco, but also not, because remember he had a couple big highlight runs. I'd put them in the video if YouTube was fun and wouldn't instantly demonetize the entire video. But remember, go look it up. Sam Darnold had some actually pretty funny runs. He had one on like a Thursday night game with the Jets. It was ridiculous. So we are here with a victory over Baltimore. Going into the bye would be awesome, be 4-2, and a breakout scenario for our normal dev linebacker, pass rusher, Baron Browning, if all goes well. Win in dev trade increase into the bye would be awesome. It was a loss, but it looked like a grindy loss where we might have an opportunity at this dev trade, and it's all bad going into the bye week here for the 49ers. So the midway point of year 1, we are 6-5, tied for first place in the NFC West. If you told me that the Niners would be 6-5 if they started Sam Darnold next season, I'd believe it. I would absolutely. I didn't think that, 6-5 would be leading, and we're gonna do something we probably shouldn't do and look at Brock Purdy and how well he's excelling in Tampa Bay, which I regret that. As soon as I hit OK, I was like, man, I should just restart the video. That's such a stupid first thing in the morning type decision that I shouldn't have done. Well, we're gonna deal with it, man. We're gonna have a little rivalry because we definitely not the last time we're gonna see him, but we actually got him week 15 this year. But take a look at our contracts here. We have $19 million of available salary cap. And, well, you got Javon Kinlaw here, who we have his replacement, even though he's 5 years older, in Javon Hargrave. Don't need that. Really, all this coming, we got to sign Bosa. We got to pay Bosa. And I don't know how we're going to do it. Holy shit. How? I don't know. Like, franchise tag him? Like, what's the franchise tag on the DN gonna be, like 20-some million dollars? I don't know how we keep Nick, like in real life, they're gonna keep Nick Bosa somehow, right? I'm not too sure how we're gonna do it. Like, only way that I can think is once we get to the offseason, we're gonna have that influx in salary cap. Maybe that will take us up to like $30 million so we can franchise tag Nick Bosa until we get our salary cap in order. Holy shit. We cannot lose him. This rebuild's gonna go in the shitter. We can't lose Nick Bosa for 4 of the 5 rebuild years in a Niners rebuild. So then if you're one, we win the NFC West, which, given the talent that we have on our roster, not surprising. 10-7, not too shabby, ignoring what Brock Purdy's doing. Happy with Sam Darnold. Should be going up to star dev, 47 yards, 38 touchdowns. Wasn't S tier, but I knew the Niners are we're a good playbook, not overpowered. Though the fact that he did a little bit on the ground too, almost 500 yards rushing, 4 rushing touchdowns, over 40. A 40 bomb for Sam Darnold. 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns for McCaffrey. And actually the difference in this revival, we did obviously the revival of Baker Mayfield with the Bucks. Go check that out. Baker Mayfield's 2-3 years older than Sam Darnold. So we're not going to have to worry about the regression of Sam Darnold. As long as we just keep on this trajectory, he's going to develop into a very good quarterback. CMC was great. Our big targets here were great as well. Ayuk, almost 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns for Deebo Samuel. 9 and 7 there for George Kittle, those are outstanding numbers for a tight end. Really, the only disappointing number is Christian McCaffrey's lack of production in the passing game, which is kind of weird. You'd figured he'd have a lot of that. Defensively, Dre Greenlaw, tackle machine. Fred Warner, under 100 tackles, man. I'm worried. He might lose his X factor, which, he's almost a 99 overall, so it doesn't matter. But, his abilities matter. It would be nice to have those abilities. 12 sacks, 19 TFLs for Nick Bosa, the man who we're going to have to figure out just how we can keep him on the roster. 7.5 sacks for Armstead, 7 sacks, 14 TFLs for Baron Browning. Excellent production. 13 TFLs, 7 sacks for Jahan Hargrave, which is, roughly in the bubble, the area code of what he was doing for my Philadelphia Eagles. Dre Greenlaw led the team with 4 interceptions, secondary is an area that I do want to try to improve during this rebuild. MVP goes to Dak Prescott. Sam Darnold is the runner-up. Brock Purdy way down there in set. We know who won that deal. We know. For the individual awards, the Rams absolutely crushing it across the board. Okay. Rams and Cowboys. We have the kicker of the year, Jason Sanders. Let's go. So we get the great honor of taking on the Rams in the first round of the playoffs here. 10-7 Niners, 9-8 Rams. Bitter rivalry within the NFC West. And we're one and done. Sam Darnold could not manufacture. The number 4 offense in the NFL could get 16 points. The number 5 defense in the NFL gives up 30. It's disappointing. Very disappointing here to end year 1. So at season's end, looking at our dev traits as we're clearing out the locker room. On the offensive side, no one lost a dev trait. Sam Darnold goes from normal to a star. Deebo Samuel with his 16 touchdowns goes from superstar up to an X factor. George Kittle kept his X factor. Obviously, McCaffrey was very good. Really, the only thing to watch on the offense is hopefully Trent Williams doesn't retire. That's really the big loss potentially on the offensive side of the football. Defensively, we lost Fred Warner's X factor. That was just a really bizarre season for him. We lost Javon Hargrave, superstar, which most Niner fans definitely don't want to see. You don't want to see Javon Hargrave was, schematically, that's what was working for Philadelphia. Made him great versus him actually being an outstanding interior pass rusher, which he is, but you'd want to see maybe more production than 7 sacks. Greenlaw, though, did go from star to a superstar, so we have double superstar there. Baron Browning went from normal up to a star dev. We did lose a dev on Gibson. That's probably more likely due to his age. So, okay, we're fine. Now, there's a retirement you didn't want to see. Well, Cam Newton, who we had 3 roster spots, so me being me, and this is focused around a quarterback, I signed as many mentor quarterbacks as we could to get the extra XP for Darnold, but Trent Williams has retired. That is the bad news. The good news is we now have enough money to keep Nick Bosa. We got him 5 years, like $180 million. He ain't going nowhere. For free agency, after getting Bosa, I didn't want to go too crazy, but we do have some positions I need really anywhere on the offensive line, which is where I'm more so I want to look at the draft. We need potentially, maybe one guy on the defensive line, and we need a safety with Gibson regressing. And Antoine Winfield Jr. fills that void. That's where I want to spend money. If I'm spending big-time money, we land him, and now all eyes on the draft, where we have some nice draft assets finally this year after the first year's draft, which was 5th round picks. So going into the draft, we need offensive line, and I think the other position would be secondary, getting more turnovers. And look at the available linemen. We need a tackle. We might even need 2 tackles. We have Chris Myers here out of K-State. Double A's with a B, but the C run blocking puts me off just a little bit. No real first rounders for the rest of the offensive line. Interior Lee. Wyatt Ellington has a double A, but again, that ugly C, and I'd rather, take a flyer here of Matthew Fowler. I think the best lineman is one that we scouted here, and it's Daquan Lawson. Double A and a B. Does have the C, which you don't love to see, but I think anytime you can scout a first-round tackle when you desperately need one. But now it comes into, who's going to be available in the second round? Because we also have a corner here at Byron Pruitt, who has a first-round talent. I think Ben Crawford at Stanford also looks nice. But because secondary is not nearly as big of a priority, we're going to get Daquan Lawson at tackle. Look at the stats here. Pretty solid across the board. Elite agility for what it's worth. I just want to, just give me a dev trait. Don't give me normal dev. I'm sick and tired of normal devs. Thank you. This guy looks like a stud. So into the second round, I'm going to offer up a 2 and a future 3 to move up to the first overall pick. So in about almost 20 spots in the second round with the Jags, because our corner slipped to the second round. The corner that we scouted that had a first round talent. So we're gonna jump on that. We're still keeping another second round pick. We have obviously it's the Bucks one, so it's pretty high. We're gonna get Byron Pruitt. Better be like a 78 overall. If I just did all that for a normal dev fucking player. All right, we're gonna grab Fowler here with our second round pick. A and B. Don't have a whole lot of other information to go off of. Actually, a little terrified of that bench press. Please don't be butt cheeks, and not a great pick, at least at face value. There's a center that I think still looks fairly solid, even though he's a UDFA grade player, that I wanted to trade up into this draft, because I think he's going to be gone if we stayed and waited till the 6th round. So I'm giving my 6th, 7th, and future 5th to move up to the first overall pick in the 4th round with the Atlanta Falcons. Very much appreciate it. I mean, I'm sure this is only going to bite us in the ass. But the chance that we are still trying to chase a dev lineman, another one, that is, we're going to go out to the top center, I think, in this class, which is Brandon Murphy, UDFA out of Clemson, AA in the B, don't know run block, but actually looks outstanding for a UDFA-type player. Hidden dev, let's go. That's why you trade back in. That's why when you find a guy, especially in these mid-rounds, if you get to rounds 4, 5, 6, if you see a guy like that's your guy, that is your sleeper, do everything you can to go get them. Trust your gut. Usually, it pans out. What a stud. So here's a look at our draft recap. Holy shit, that's going to be one of my worst picks ever. 65 normal dev in the second round. How did I fall for that? We made up for it by getting Murphy. 73. UDFA grade player. 73 hidden dev for Brand. The only thing we home run is he's a scheme fit. And he is a scheme fit. There's our day one starter at center. Right there. Love seeing that. Pruitt, even though he has the normal dev, which was annoying, 76. I would say he better be 78. So I'll take 76. Take a 76 rookie every day of the week. And then our big get. No pressure whatsoever. Hey, you're just going to replace Trent Williams, Daquan Lawson, the Notre Dame tackle. 75 scheme fit. Best of luck to you. So we're starting out this season with some trade offers here. We have Elijah Mitchell, who's kind of just rotting away in our backfield. Never getting a whole lot of touches because of just what Christian McCaffrey is. So I'm looking around at shipping him. 81. He has a dev trait. And the Baltimore Ravens have offered essentially Rashad Bateman for Elijah Mitchell. I feel like this might teeter on the borderline of like, why would they offer this? But we're like 2-3 years in. And I mean, there's a scenario Rashad Bateman just never takes his game to another level. It's unlikely. You know, obviously in real life, the Ravens are moving on from their OC. Hopefully they'll have more of a prevalent passing attack. I think Rashad Bateman, still way too early to write him off. But in this scenario, it's believable. It's plausible. So we, a team in need of a wide receiver 3, are able to move Elijah Mitchell to go be the starter there in Baltimore. So we're looking at our lineup. Year 2 of the Sam Darnold era, especially after just making that move. We have Christian McCaffrey, Debo, X Factor, Brandon Ayuk, and now Rashad Bateman will be able to operate. Again, gives us flexibility. We can put Debo in the slot. We can put Bateman in the slot. We can go Ayuk in the slot. All these guys, they're going to be able to make plays for this offense. On top of Kittle, offensive line get reshaped a little bit. Lawson, massive shoes to fill, taking over for Trent Williams. But we got an upgraded center. I took Burford and slid him out to tackle. I don't know if that's going to be the best course for his career. It's definitely a spot we still need to improve at. But I think this is our best mix of an offensive line for year 2. Defensively, the defense, even though we have Farrell here, it's pretty much you got Bosa, Armstead, Hargrave, and Browning are our pass rush, with Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw being our linebackers and nickel. With the addition of Antoine Winfield Jr., though, we have one of the best safety duos in the NFL. Would love to see one, if not both, these guys go up a dev trait this season. Secondary, to round it out, still a work in progress. We got Travaris Ward, clearly the best of the bunch, but beyond that, I think we should just go with upside right now. We have Pruitt, more like Blewett for a pick. We'll get him involved. I want Thomas because he has the dev trait, so he definitely has a higher ceiling than Isaiah Oliver. And honestly, I think he should just... Lenore's not a super old player. How old is he? If he's 25 or older, he's 24K. 2478 versus the corner that we drafted this year. Decisions. Who I want to start. Oh, it's only that's still a tough one. I mean, that's kind of a badass name. We'll let him keep his spot right now. But lots of competition for that corner. But my point being, very good defense, very good offense. I would love to see Sam Darnold play like he did last year, because then he'll be up to a superstar dev right as he gets, 27, 28 years old. There's still a chance we can get Sam Darnold up to an X factor, like his trajectory right now, up to an X factor, and he still won't be at a point of regression. That'd be amazing. That's what we need to happen in this rebuild. It all starts with a strong season 2. Let's get it. Point of year 2, 4-2, sitting atop the NFC West as an 87 overall squad. Feel pretty good about that start. And one thing I don't think it was unlocked yet. Our UDFA grade center that we traded up to get in the 4th round. The last time I upgraded a point here for him, I got like the little ability slot notification. So we'll probably actually find out maybe after this game. I think there's a chance we drafted a superstar dev center. We got like Jason Kelsey 2.0 in terms of value in this rebuild. But let's take a look at the contracts here For the 49ers, they have a little bit more salary cap than we did this time last season, $105 million, but there are plenty of names that are worthy of a contract. First, that's probably another reason why Rashad Bateman was so easy to get from the Baltimore Ravens, because they had no real shot at re-signing him. So he's in a one-year deal, ship him off to San Francisco, let him be their problem. I'd like to keep him. We'll offer him a 3-year deal. He wants more money. I don't really want to just lose him after 1 year. Makes the trade look bad in my favor. So we will go ahead and offer him a little bit more. Dre Greenlaw, absolutely want to keep him a part of this defense. Him and Fred Warner are outstanding together. Brandon Ayuk, another name. No reason to really let him leave the building. He's productive last year, had over 1,000 yards. Him and Debo worked as a hell of a tandem. Charvarius Ward's our top corner. Honestly, we can get on a 2-year deal. Keep him till he's 30. Don't really... Ooh. He wants more years? 3 year? I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3 every day of the week, buddy. Hufanga at safety has definitely... Was he second team All-Pro last season or something crazy like that in real life? Which some people were saying was undeserved. But hell of a breakout year for him in real life. And he's been solid for us in this rebuild. Definitely want to see him continue to take his game to another level. We got Armstead locked up. We got Minerts, another part of a trade. But this one here, I want him for the full rebuild. I want him 4 years, 26 mil. Don't have to worry about that right guard spot for the remainder of this video. Some other options here. Baron Browning, Ambry Thomas. I'm interested because I got the dev traits. And we're definitely going to come back to the table with Rashad Bateman and Charvarius Ward. All right, second round of negotiations. We bumped up to 3 years, got Charvarius Ward locked in, even if it was 1 year longer than I really intended it to. We have Rashad Bateman, who will round this contract up. Even this, he might still turn down. But 3 years, $24 million is able to retain his services. Ambry Thomas, 3 years. He's not overly interested in staying with us, so I don't really want to overpay, because while there is the sentiment of let's develop our own guy, there's probably better options on the market, and they're not going to slap our offer back in our face. Baron Browning, however, I think there's more and more potential that he's going to continue to dominate and break out. I see like an 85, 86 overall ceiling if we can get him for the full 5. And those type of edge rushers usually aren't this cheap. So 4 years, 20-some million bucks, and we're going to gamble that he's going to continue to play very well. Yeah, that center, that UDFA grade center that we traded back into the draft for, superstar dev. This might be one of my best offensive line picks in all of this year of Madden. Look what we have here. Perfect timing. Baron Browning has a breakout scenario ahead of our game here against the Rams. Literally just, we contractor signed him, man. This guy here, I just feel like he's going to continue to develop, and we're going to get an absolute bargain at that price point. Come on. A lot of people playing Sunday night. We kicked the shit out of the Rams 42-24. Maybe not the best game defensively, but Baron Browning, once a normal dev, is now a superstar dev pass rusher for the 49ers. What a trade. And at the end of year 2, somehow we get the illustrious you're 15-2 and you still don't get a bye because the New York Giants. We won 11 games in a row. We're the hottest team in the NFL, but yet the Giants, 15-2, tied. Somehow they had a tiebreaker over us. Is what it is. But, I mean, we're 11 games in a row. 47-41 shootout victory week 18, and we get to take on the Dallas Cowboys. All right, well, take a look at our players. Sam Darnold was 19th in yards, 3rd in touchdowns, which, honestly, I don't know if that's going to give him a dev or not. What do you got for yards? He rushes. You're looking for about top 10 in yards, top 10 in to have be optimistic of going up. And the fact that we're 3rd in touchdowns, I mean, you combine the rushing yards. Oh, 5. I mean, he might. I'm not overly optimistic that we'll get the superstar, but we might. And that is definitely a big goal of the season. It may be even more so than going 15-2. Was getting Sam Darnold a superstar dev. I'm going to say we probably 60-40 we will. Christian McCaffrey was great. 1,400 yards, 18 touchdowns. Deebo Samuel, 1,200 yards, 12. We had 11-9 for George Kittle. 9-9 for Brandon Ayuk. Maybe not the best year for Rashad Bateman. Defensively, Fred Warner, over 100 tackles, 5 interceptions is huge. Baron Browning continues his breakup, tied with Bosa, 14 sacks apiece, 11.5 for Armstead, 10 for Javon Hargrave. This pass rush, absolutely sick. But as you can see, man, we're still looking for something in that secondary. Someone to really step out in that secondary. Number 1 offense in the NFL, MVP, Sam Darnold. We never did that with Baker Mayfield. I mean, that's almost the comparison, right? Because the last video we did was a Baker Mayfield career revival. And while we did get Baker up to an X Factor, we never won a Super Bowl. We never won an MVP. MVP Sam freaking Darnold. So that should bode well for a dev trade, I think. You know, we're gonna be talking superstar. Baron Browning gets linebacker of the year. That could be X Factor for Baron Browning. What a signing that would be. Really, the only way that this whole season now is gonna suck is if we lose the first round here game to the Dallas Cowboys. But we're very much ahead of schedule. Year 2 of this rebuild. We handled Dallas 34-14 in a matchup where Sam Darnold cooked. 3 passing touchdowns, 275 yards passing, and we are off into the divisional round against the Green Bay Packers. A very solid team, but they're giving up 5 overall points. We feel confident. 37-31, the Niners get the job, and it's the 2 15-win teams. 30 wins combined, meeting in the NFC Championship game. And this one, whoa, what? It went to overtime. Pretty much double overtime here. And it was all not Sam Darnold. Christian McCaffrey. Well, Sam Darnold, look at that, man. Utilizing his legs. 43 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. We had 5 total rushing touchdowns in that matchup. And now we have an unreal matchup. 15 wins versus 15 wins. That might be like the best win total I've seen in a conference championship in a rebuild in quite some time. Maybe all year. Are we going to be on the right side? Oh, my God. What a shootout. 36-33, unfortunately. We cannot be that ahead of schedule. As in year 2. And we give up 15 in the 4th. Damn. Taylor Heineke. What? Taylor Heineke going off. Huge game. Brandon Ayuk, 185 yards and a touchdown. Rashad Bateman was solid. Definitely didn't rely on Kittle or Debo that much. Defensively, no sacks. I mean, yeah, there you go. All things equal, we had a better defense on paper, and neither defense really showed up. But definitely ahead of schedule here in year 2. Let's spend some upgrades here for your NFL MVP. We get 2 overall points for Sam Darnold. I've kind of been making him like a field general type. But he is now up to an 80 overall, and he is a superstar dev at 28. So we're getting pretty close to his ceiling in terms of like he might start regressing maybe next season. But it's all about, you know, keep stacking the devs. Get him up to an X Factor, 28, 29. Maybe it won't be as harsh. Like I'm seeing an overall ceiling, probably 86, 87 X Factor for Darnold if all goes well for the main route. And that's more than good enough to, you know, operate and pull the strings of this 49ers team, which is outstanding all around, to a Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the New York Giants, so I guess there's silver lining. We didn't have to go see the Giants lift up a Super Bowl. As it relates to dev trades closing up this year. Murphy, we already talked about that. Superstar, that was one of my best offensive line picks all year. Sam Darnold, the reigning, defending NFL MVP, is up to a superstar. And on the defensive side of the ball, look at what we got here. All 3 of our linebackers are X Factors. Yes, that is awesome. Going into free agency, really had a couple of spots I wanted to look at. Guard, offensive tackle, and on the defensive side, I wanted to get a little bit more juice in our secondary, and luckily that is where we're able to find it in Asante Samuel Jr. Able to get him on a 4-year, $30 million deal, 25 years old, 85 with a star dev. He's going to walk in and be likely corner 1 for us next season. And now we're going to the draft. I could still probably pony up on BPA, be it a tackle, a guard, or another corner. So in the first round, at pick 30 in the draft, who is going to join Asante Samuel as a big-time upgrade for our team? And this is a tough one because I got a bunch of guys I like. Number 1 is Montre Henry, the corner from Tennessee. A-catching, B-man, B-press, C-zone, elite acceleration. Now, the rest of the 40 is not the best. Everything outside of the 40 looks pretty good. He's a nickel corner man guy that you know, could be solid. And the reason why I'm leaning that way is we got some depth on the offensive line. Jeremiah Ferguson, 2nd, 3rd round, 3 Bs and an A. Newberry looks okay, but look, Timmy Scott and Ferguson both look like very serviceable guards, and there's a chance that he can be aggressive in the 2nd round to secure one of their services. So, for me and my money, we're going to go in the 1st round. And I mean, there could be an argument made. Joey Gilchrist at a Clemson looks solid as well. 6'2", 210. B-catching, B-man. We don't know the press. And he's a little bit better of an athlete here. This is like one of those deals where like Gilchrist feels like he'll have the dev trait and Henry will be like a high rating normal dev. Let's gamble with it though. Maybe we'll be surprised. Oh, it would be a little bit. We just go with the best player. Didn't overthink it. 95 acceleration, hidden dev. Let's go. And in the second round, able to get our second target at right guard. Ferguson is there. Actually, maybe we can pick who's going to be best. I was almost leading Timmy Scott. 3 beats and an A for Ferguson. Elite jumping, elite agility, 36 reps on his bench press, so he improved it a lot at his pro day. That compared to Timmy Scott. Actually, I kind of want both of them, but Timmy Scott, 6'4", 314, BAB with, oh my God, he is elite. I want both these guys. Like, I honestly think I need to trade up so I can get both of them. Because, I mean, 6'4", 315, I can kick that to tackle if I want. And they're both scheme fits. So we're going to go Jeremiah Ferguson here first, hidden dev guard, and I'm going to try to trade up in the third round to get Timmy Scott. So I was able to trade up into the third round by offering our 4th and 6th round pick and decent, I think he's 26, 77, normal dev guard Aaron Banks. So still solid. He's got to be replaced by, you know, what we're doing here today. And able to get back up so we can go. I saw the run on guards here to get our boy, Mr. Scott. Long eye plan, definitely to move and kick to tackle. Timmy Scott, give me the dev trait. Give me the dev trait. Give me the dev trait. Take a look at our draft recap. Big time fans of our draft. Obviously, we had one last little straggler pick. Timmy Scott, 74 hidden dev. Jeremiah Ferguson, 74 hidden dev. And Montre Henry, our top. Like, we got literally the 3 guys I wanted. And they're all ridiculous draft picks at positions of need. Year 3 for us here in our Sam Darnold career revival rebuild with the 49ers. He's now a superstar. Gonna be excited to see here in year 3 if he, as a defending NFL MVP, can get up to an X factor. On the offense, we've added outstanding O-line prospects here. Ferguson gets to start at left guard as a rookie. Scott gets to start at right tackle as a rookie to try and just, you know, we got a sophomore center. I mean, just outstanding job here. Just rebuilding this offensive line through the draft, plus trading for Quinn Miners. I tap myself on the back there just a little bit. The defense, our front, we got Bosa and Browning are our 2 pass rushers. Fred Warner and Greenlaw in nickel. Armstead and Hargrave, just outstanding. We have Henry, our 1st round pick. He's going to be our starting nickel corner. So we're going to go Asante Samuel and Travaris Ward on the outside. Henry in the slot. Hufanga and Winfield at safety. This is a team. It's year 3. So we were 15-2 last season. It's year 3. I wouldn't be shocked if we're 2-15. But let's just keep on keeping on here. Coming over from our bye week, we are 5-4, which is, you know, that's a little bit of that year 3 randomness. Should be better than 5-4. We already have twice as many losses we had a year ago. But it's a hard schedule. I'm not going to be too nitpicky. We're right in the hunt for the division. We have $92 million of salary, and we're going to spend every bit of that. First up, Christian McCaffrey. Want him here for the rebuild. Next up, George Kittle, who has max interest in staying here. He's not going anywhere. Debo looks like he kind of wants to explore greener pastures. We'll go very player friendly. He still wants even more. That's a little greedy. I think Armstead, Juszczyk, a little bit replaceable. We got to go Darnold. It's a Darnold rebuild. So we'll offer him $190 million for Darnold, which is disgusting. But look, we're going to have $8.5 million. That's going to be enough to likely tilt Debo back. And we're just going to have to replace Armstead, really, as a key starter. Plus, redraft special teams next year. And year 3 could have got a lot worse. We've seen year 3s be a little bit more random. We go 11-6, tied for first in the West. But they give the title to the Seahawks, which I don't necessarily agree with. But it is what it is. I am a little bit worried about the offense. Did not, you know, a lot of our wins were not impressive. Sam Darnold, 3,900 yards, 34 touchdowns, 9 picks, 380 additional rushing yards, and another touchdown. So 35 touchdowns, you know, 4,200 yards, 4,300 yards, thereabouts. I don't think he'll lose his dev trait. You know, it's very unlikely he'll go up to an X factor, but that's fine. We've already won the MVP with him. Individual success has been achieved. 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns for CMC, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns for Ayuk. Debo 3 yards shy of 1,000. Actually, a little worried. Debo might lose his X factor. that's probably right on the line. 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns of like, you might not, but it could be a little bit of a rough regression period here. Defensively, Fred Warner, Hufanga, and Greenlaw, tackle machines. Our sacks kind of fell off a cliff here a little bit. 18.5 sacks, Nick Bosa, 8 for Armstead, only 6 for Baron Browning this year, and 3 for Javon Hargrave. 4 picks for Travarius Ward, the rookie. Montre Henry had 3 interceptions on 83 tackles. He is a star dev. No X factor. Yearly awards. MVP goes to Tua, crushing it for the Seattle Seahawks. Okay. Rest of the awards, looking just quickly for some Niners. No Niners. Okay. So, a little bit weird, though. Given our production last year, given our wins last year, year 3 definitely was a step in the wrong direction, but we got a playoff victory. 30-20 over the Commanders. Divisional round, we played the Packers again. Last time, went our way. This time, it went our way, and we are a win away from the Super Bowl. It is Panthers, former Darnold team, against current Darnold team. Come on! Oh. Back-to-back NFC Championship game losses. We lose to, I guess we lose to the 1 seed. 25-22. Darnold played okay, but 101 passing yards. Winning games. Like, you playing like Joe Flacco did when the Ravens went on their run? I want to see a little bit more. In closing of year 3, I'm expecting this to be a little bit rough, and we didn't lose any devs on the offense. Very surprising. Very, very surprising. Scott, our hidden dev tackle, star dev. Ferguson, star dev. So we got 3 star devs from our 3 hidden devs. Nah, it's not too bad. Baron Browning, unfortunately, lost his X factor, but we did gain a superstar on Hufanga. Hargrave lost his star. He's getting up there in age just a little bit. But, we're fine. We survived this one. With only $11 million in salary, I'm going to have that roll over into next season, and we're not even going to tempt ourselves by looking at what's on the open market. We're going to improve our team through the draft. Tough decision here. Pick 30 in the first round. We need D-tackle. I need to find an Eric Armstead replacement. Javon Hargrave's not getting any younger. And it's kind of between 2. We have Randy Cunningham here. I'm a little worried about that D-tackle. He's a D-tackle, but that D-tackle great. But he is a scheme fit, has elite speed, 4.76. Top 5 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. 4.7 at 300 pounds. The ratings look pretty bad. The other option here is Clint Bruce out of Georgia. We have B power move, C finesse move. Don't know his tackle or block shed, but he also looks pretty good. 4.82, has 40 reps on the bench press, did 41 at the combine. I think this got to be our guy. Clint Bruce, welcome. What a match. 6'5", 320, 86 acceleration, 76 speed. Let's go. Take a look at our draft recap. I think we got an impact play. Ooh, maybe not. 73. That's not bad for the end of the first round. Run stuffer, almost a scheme fit as a power rusher. And the skill set, very elite here for Clint Bruce. Day 1 starter for us. Year for the 49ers, offense remains the same. Defense has a monster in the middle in Bruce. Don't really care about this pass rusher because, again, we rock with Baron Browning as a pass rush and boast. Like, we rock a lot of this, right? That's our main squeeze here. Our rest of the, just 15 wins. Let's get back to it. Darnold, go off and get your X factor, boy. Midway point of year 4, 3-4. Not exactly where we want to be with the 28th passing offense. Come on. Like, what are we doing here? 28th in yards, 25th in touchdowns. It hits. When it hits, it hits. 29, though. That's a little young to be on the downswing there, Sammy. All right, of course, we already paid him like $200 million. Great. We have $28 million remaining of salary cap, and it looks like we're going to be able to keep Fred Warner. We'll keep Fred Warner, and we might have a little bit of salary cap to see if we can get an upgrade, younger upgrade over Javon Hargrave on the defensive line in free agency. And while Sam Darnold's regressing, our team is not. Our 95 overall offense still able to operate, even though we had the 31st passing offense, 2nd rushing offense, top 3 defense, number 1 in stopping the run. And we are here for another playoff run. 2 straight championship losses. Let's see if we can do a little better. 3,600 yards, 30 touchdowns for Darnold. Finishes with a solid season. Throwing in that rushing numbers, I don't think we'll lose the superstar dev, but definitely not in line with us gaining an X factor. Actually, is this the first year we've actually had some big Deebo Samuel rushing numbers? That's kind of cool. 1,300 yards, Christian McCaffrey on the receiving front. No 1,000-yard receiver. So there is a chance Deebo and or George Kittle both are at risk of losing their X factors. But again, I mean, at this point in the season and this point of the rebuild, the X factors aren't that big of a deal, at least for their development. 16.5 sacks for Nick Bosa, but the rest of the sacks have really fallen off a cliff for our defense. But we're just a really good defense. We're not padding the box score with sacks and interceptions, but we're still playing like an elite unit, top 5 defense. Looking at the awards, looking for some 49ers. We have one, Quinn Meinerz, O-Lineman of the Year. Congratulations. That's likely going to be a dev trait. That'll bump him up to a superstar. And can we go a run? Can we make it 3 straight? How do we phrase this positively? 3 straight NFC Championship games. 3 straight NFC Championship appearances. That'd be cool for the Niners. Doesn't really matter about the results. We're able to go on runs every year. First round, we knock out the Detroit Lions 35-19. Divisional round, we take on a team that we are 9 overall points better, and we handle business. And it is our 3rd straight NFC Conference Championship game. We're getting ready to pull like an Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb here. We get shit kicked. 45-14. 3 straight championship losses. Holy. What do we do? What do we do to get over this hill? The Raiders went on to win the Super Bowl this season, but looking at our offense, yep. Did not lose the X factor on Kittle, but we did lose it on Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. Meinerz for winning Offensive Lineman of the Year did go up to superstar. So, I mean, still generally speaking, dev traits look good on the offense. Maybe not as good as they once were. Defensively, Bruce! We drafted an X factor. Bruce is an X factor. Clint Bruce. Freak athlete, 6'5", 320. Superstar X factor run stuffer. Yes, sir. That means we've drafted a superstar center in this rebuild. We've drafted an X factor D tackle in this rebuild. We did lose dev traits on Fred Warner and Baron Browning, which sucks. Hufanga lost his superstar, which sucks. But that just hopefully adds even more motivation for these guys to sort their shit out and get past the championship game in year 5, because it's all or nothing now. And for our lone final free agency side, I'm going to bring a little bit of a run stuffer to the mix. Maybe that's what we've been missing on the defenses. Our D tackles need to be run stuffers so that we can let Bosa and Browning just straight up rush the passer, because before, between Hargrave and Armstead, those are just interior rushers, not guys that are great against the run. So last year, the draft, Bruce, run stuffer, X factor as a rookie, fine, that worked out well. Let's pair him with another absolute monster in the middle, space eater, to let everybody else get after the quarterback. We go into this draft only needing a kicker and a punter, so we're just going to kind of go BPA, and this is actually a very good wide receiver fall into our lap at pick 30. Mike Page out of UCLA, B catching traffic, A deep route running, B release, first round grade with 4.24 speed. Like, usually these are the guys that are like 6th, 7th round, and you know they're probably just going to be good, not amazing. This guy actually might be incredible. Like, what? 4.24, and you get 96. Yeah, that's 4.24 hand time, I assume, because that's the pro day. So look at our draft recap. Page popped 76 with the hidden dev, the speedster, in the first round. But I said I need a kicker, punter. Punter, but not so much. Didn't really find much. But the kicker, we got Dom Weston, 72 overall kicker with 97 kick power. Let's go. Year 5, this is it. The offense, we know. The defense, the addition of DJ Reader, so like hopefully improves it a little bit, but it's been the exact same starters that we've had for a minute now. It is time for Sam Darnold, NFL MVP Sam Darnold, who very much like Baker Mayfield has achieved the career revival, which is what we set it to do. But unlike Baker Mayfield, we are going to try and win a Super Bowl. We have an opportunity here. We have a great team. We've made a bunch of championship games. It's time to put it all together. Step 1 of our year 5 mission is complete. Well, I still hate the fact that we have the 30th passing offense for No reason whatsoever. We were like the best, one of the best passing offenses for year 1 and year 2, and now it's just completely shifted. We still have the top 5 offense in the NFL and the number 1 defense in the NFL, and a first round bye on top of a divisional title. Sam Darnold was solid, you know, a little off the 40 touchdowns that we were getting before, but I mean, that's still a hell of a year. 32 touchdowns to 5 picks, plus 600 yards. You might be MVP again with those rushing numbers. 4,100 yards, almost 40 touchdowns. It'll put him in consider. He's definitely going to make the short list. 14 yards, 13 touchdowns, CMC. 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns for Debo. Kittle also had 11 touchdowns, but not much else in terms of receiving numbers because we ran the ball a lot. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, both over 100 tackles, 5 picks for Fred Warner. 17 sacks for Nick Bosa, 11 for Baron Browning, 8 from Clint Bruce, 6 from DJ Reader. So our defensive line picked it up. Definitely sacks are up from a year ago. Asante Samuel tied with Fred Warner for the lead on team interceptions with 5. Yearly award, Sam Darnold. Oh, what? Okay, at least he made the short list, I suppose. 7th in MVP voting for the former MVP. Deebo Samuel is Offensive Player of the Year. Will Anderson, Defensive Player of the Year. Sam Darnold, Quarterback of the Year. Man, if we make the Super Bowl, he might be X Factor. Deebo Samuel, Wide Receiver of the Year. Nick Bosa, D Lineman of the Year. We are getting respect. Asante Samuel, DB of the Year. This is what we've been hoping for. This is what we've been waiting for. Now, the only way to cap this off is going on a very legitimate playoff run, getting back to the championship game, and finding a way to get over our hump. And it starts here right away against the 9-8 Commanders. Were they the team that beat us last year in the playoffs at some point? That's how bad my memory is. Can't even remember. Well, we handled business. And we are in another conference. We'll play the moments on this one just to see if we can help this team usher them into a playoff run that they deserve, aka a Super Bowl finale. We got the 9-8 Panthers in store, 85 overall against our juggernaut 93 overall Sam Darnold led Niners team. We're the home team, field of jeans. See what Sam Darnold can do. Moment's been too big for us this whole rebuild, but maybe this is going to be the year that we can get it over the line. 7-0. We have the team that strike first in the touchdown department. Carolina able to get a touchdown there though before the end of the first half, and may actually get 2 back-to-back scores. Come on. We'll get on this 3rd and 3. I feel like this was about to be a field goal drive. Let's see if we can make it a touchdown drive. Where's Debo at? Where's B? Score it to B. Rashad Bateman runs away from the linebacker. It's a great mismatch. Able to get the touchdown, tie this one up. 14-14 into the second half. Everything to play for. Let's go, boys. Feel this is off. Touchdown, 21 points for the Niners. Another one. Another one. Up 14 in the 4th. This would be an epic collapse if we can't. Any points here? Oh, there's another touchdown. 3 touchdowns in the second half. We have calluses of failure, which have got us to this point. We were not going to be denied. 277 yards, 3 touchdowns for Sam Darnold. 150 yards, Brandon Ayuk. And the Niners have finally got over the hump and are in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl has been set against the Denver Broncos, who I am just curious. Do they still have do they have Trey Lance as a quarterback? I don't even know if he ever became quarterback because they still had Russell Wilson on the squad. Okay. They got this guy, Arnold Taylor. 2 first names at a Temple. 93 speed. 96 throw power. This guy's actually incredible looking. Okay, so they have a fucking juggernaut at quarterback. Before we go into this, because it's going to be fun, let's take a look at our stats here from this rebuild. Overall, who did what? How did they play? Career stats for Sam Darnold. Career resurgence, 32,000 passing yards, 236 touchdowns, and 96 picks. He's done a very nice job writing the shit for his career. And he's ended up having a pretty damn serviceable one. Chris McCaffrey obviously did a lot of that with the Panthers, but he's at almost 12,000 yards rushing, 109 touchdowns. George Kittle, 9,600 yards, 72 touchdowns for the great tight end. 8,800 yards, 71 touchdowns for Debo. 7,600 yards, 53 touchdowns for Brandon Ayuk. CMC, just what a freaking weapon, man. Yards from scrimmage, he's GOAT. He's going to the Hall of Fame in this world. 13, almost 1,400 yards, 17 picks for Fred Warner. Dre Greenlaw just a little bit under 1,000 total tackles. 105 sacks for Nick Bosa. Maybe a little underwhelming. Baron Browning was awesome for us. What a value in this rebuild. He finishes 62 TFLs, 49 sacks. And on the picks front, Fred Warner, 17, leading the team. Greenlaw with 30. So again, just never had big interception numbers in the secondary. It was kind of always our linebackers, which is fine. We're fine. If we win the Super Bowl, we're fine. But we got to stop one of the best generated quarterbacks I've seen in a minute. Let's go. Where's Darnold? Show me Darnold. We got CMC there by the throat. We got Debo. But where's the reason why we're here? They didn't even give him. They don't even give him an intro. The disrespect. Opening drive. Denver goes down the field. They settle for a field goal. We get a touchdown on our first drive. We have the experience for sure over the Denver Broncos. But you might have to give them the edge in quarterback, especially with Sam Darnold kind of regressing the last 2 years of this 5-year rebuild. Definitely has fell off since he's been the MVP. Kind of similar to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's had a couple good years for us in that Bucs revival and kind of, reared off towards the end. But then again, both these guys similar age. Maybe that's just what happens. 30 years old, your quarterback shits the bed. We have 7-point lead, 3:14 to go in the fourth. Denver quickly gets a touchdown. We need to finish this one off. 1st and 10 on the 17. I hate coming in this early. Feels like, there's a chance we could have let them score their own touchdown. But we're going to try and do our best. Because I really want, just maybe more so because we lost. Let's go. We lost last rebuild. We need to get a Super Bowl. We're due for a Super Bowl. That was a big, I'm not sure. Let's finish this off. Which we probably should have chew clock on. Just to make sure that, we make them even just use their timeouts. But look at that blocking. Let's go, CMC. Punches it in. That's how you cap it off. Defense. 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 Defense does it. And hey, give it to CMC. I think we won this game because of CMC. I think it's a fairly easy Super Bowl MVP in this scenario. But Sam Darnold has completed the journey. Signed as like a 1-year flyer to the San Francisco 49ers. A team that is known to get success out of pretty much any mid quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo looked decent. Trey Lance, well, maybe not so much in that department. They made Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, look decent. And I think in real life, hey, if he has an opportunity, they can make Sam Darnold look decent. But winning the MVP, winning a Super Bowl, this career revival could not have gone any better. And I'm very happy they were able to cap it off with a Super Bowl victory. So let me know in the comment section below. Is there any other revivals, or any other moves from free agency that make a certain team very interesting to rebuild? Again, literally I try to wait it throughout the weekend. There's still no movement on the Aaron Rodgers trade front because I do want to do a Packers rebuild with Jordan Love. So that's kind of on pause at the moment. So if there's any other suggestions, feel free to fire those off in the comment section below. But that will do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's your boy C4. Saying peace out. Love you. Have a good one.